Today I'm going to show you how to factorize a trinomial with a coefficient of x squared, or with an a value. If we look at the first example, 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. We see that we have a coefficient of the x squared, the coefficient is a 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this 2 because this 2 is going to play two parts in this factorization step. So step number 1, I'm going to take the coefficient or the a value and I am going to multiply it with the c value. So that's going to give me x squared plus 7x, and then 2 times 6 is positive 12. Alright, so now we've taken 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 and we've changed it to x squared plus 7x plus 12. So we're going to look at our third term, and our third term is a positive 12. So that tells me two things. It tells me that the signs are going to be the same inside the brackets and that I'm adding the factors of 12 to give me my middle term of 7. Alright, so what are the factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Now which of those three sets of factors when added together give me my 7? That is the 3 and the 4. So I'm going to factorize this. 2 brackets, the x goes into both of the brackets. So the last term is a plus, which means that both the signs are going to be the same inside the bracket. What are they going to be? I look at my middle term sign, which is a positive, so they're both going to be a positive. So now I put the factors that I picked, which are 3 and 4. So now I have x plus 3 into x plus 4. But do you agree that when I multiply this out, I'm going to get back to x squared plus 7x plus 12 and not 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So now my coefficient of the x squared, the 2, is playing its second role. So the first role was I took the a and I multiplied it with the c. Now the second role is I'm going to take that 2 and I am going to put it in the denominator over here. Alright, so now I've put it in the denominator in my 2 brackets. So now I'm going to simplify these 2 brackets, but I want to keep fractions inside each of the brackets for now. So I'm going to have x plus 3 over 2, 3 over 2 is already simplified, into x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, but I'm going to keep it as a fraction of 2 over 1. Alright, so there are 3 little steps to this. Firstly, I take the a value and I multiply it with the c value. Step number 2, I take that a value and I put it in the fraction or in the denominator of the 2 brackets. And now my third step, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take these denominators and I'm going to bring them to the front. So that means that I'm going to have 2x plus 3, 1x or x plus 2. So now I factorized 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 into 2x plus 3 into x plus 2. Let's do another one. 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. So I'm going to start by taking my a value, which is the 3, and I'm going to multiply that a value with the c value, which is 4. So now I'm going to have x squared minus 7x, 3 times positive 4 is positive 12. So I look at my third term, and my third term is positive 12. So that tells me 2 things. It tells me that I'm going to add the factors of 12 to give me my middle term of 7, and that both of the signs are going to be the same. What are the signs going to be? They're both going to be negative because my middle term is negative. Alright, what are the factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Which set of those 3 factors when added together give me my 7? That's the 3 and the 4. So now I'm going to factorize this into 2 brackets. X goes into both brackets. Both of the signs are going to be the same because my third term was positive. So that's a negative and a negative. I take the factors I've just picked, of 3 and 4. So the first step, I took the a value and I multiplied it with the c value. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that a value and I'm going to put it into the denominator of these fractions. Well, I'm going to create fractions. So I'm going to divide both of those by the 3. So now I'm going to simplify this. X minus 3 divided by 3 is 1, but I'm going to keep it as a fraction. So it's going to be 1 over 1 into x minus, and 4 over 3 doesn't simplify. So the first step is to take the a value multiplied with the c value. Then the second step is to take that a value and put it back into both brackets as the denominator. And then the last step is I'm now going to take these denominators and I'm just going to put them in the front. So that means that I'm going to have 1x, or just x minus 1, and I'm going to have 3x minus 4. If I look at my next example, I have a 5 in front of my x squared. So my first step is to take my a value and multiply it with my c value. So I'm going to take my a and I'm going to multiply it with my c. So that's going to leave me with x squared plus 19x. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize this trinomial like normal. So I'm going to take my third term. My third term is negative, so that tells me two things. It tells me that the signs are going to be different and that I'm subtracting the factors of 20 to give me my middle term, which is 19. What are the factors of 20? 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. So now I'm going to factorize this. So I'm going to have two brackets and the signs are going to be different. One will be a plus and one will be a minus. Why are they going to be different? Because my third term was negative. I'm going to take the x squared and I'm going to factorize it to x and x. So now I need to decide which of those three sets of factors when subtracted give me my 19. So that will be 1 and 20. Which one gets the plus sign, which one gets the minus sign? I look at my middle term. My middle term is positive, which means the bigger number gets the positive. So that means that the 20 gets the positive. So the 20 gets the positive and the 1 gets the negative. So my first step is multiply the a with the c. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this a and I'm going to put it back into these brackets as the denominator. So over 5 over 5. Now I'm going to simplify these brackets. So I'll have x, 20 divided by 5 is positive 4, but I'm going to keep it as a fraction, so I'm going to keep it 4 over 1, into x minus a fifth. Now what I'm going to do is my final step, and that is taking this denominator and putting it in the front of the brackets. So I'm going to have 1 times x, which is x plus 4 into 5x minus 1. Last example, 2x squared minus x minus 6. So I have a 2. Coefficient of the x squared, which is the a value, I'm going to take the a value and I'm going to multiply it with the c value. So now I'm going to have x squared minus x, positive 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Now I'm going to factorize this like a normal trinomial. So I look at my third term and my third term is negative. So that tells me two things. It tells me that the signs are going to be different and that I'm subtracting the factors of 12 to give me my middle term, which is a 1. What are the factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now, which of those factors when subtracted give me 1? That's 3 and 4. So now I'm going to factorize this into two brackets. X will go in the front of both of my brackets, and the signs need to be different. So one will be a plus and one will be a minus. Now I just need to decide which number, the 3 or the 4, gets the plus and which one gets the negative. So I look at my middle term, and my middle term is negative x, which means that the bigger number gets the negative. So that means that the 4 gets the negative, the 3 gets the positive. Now I'm going to take the 2 and I'm going to put it back into the brackets as a denominator. So I'm going to simplify this as x plus 3 over 2. X minus 4 divided by 2 is 2, but keep it as a fraction, 2 over 1. Now I'm going to take these two denominators and I'm going to slide them back into my brackets. So I'm going to have a final answer of 2x plus 3, x minus 2.